Carson Palmer, in my opinion, is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think it's very easy. I think it's a very simple decision. When you tell the NFL's story, when you talk about people who left their mark on the NFL, you can leave out Carson Palmer. Like, if you want a Super Bowl, that's one thing. That's your way. Maybe Eli Manning's not an incredible quarterback who left a giant mark on the NFL, but he won 2 huge Super Bowls. He beat the undefeated New England Patriots. He has 2 Super Bowls. You can make an argument Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But if you didn't win a Super Bowl, you have to leave your mark. You have to do something memorable. Do something remarkable. Leave your mark on the NFL. Chris Carter, he left his mark on the NFL. Dan Fouts, Dan Marino, those guys left their mark on the NFL. What did Carson Palmer do? I legitimately am asking, what do you remember Carson Palmer doing? He never made it to a Super Bowl, never lost a Super Bowl, doesn't have a big win. He played with his most interesting moments were playing with Chad Ochocinco. Carson Palmer seems like a great dude. I'm not meaning to trash him. He's a great quarterback. He was a good quarterback for many, many years. Doesn't make him a Hall of Fame quarterback. Well, he did nothing remarkable. He did nothing outstanding that I remember. I don't remember his career. What did he do? I'm legitimately asking, what did Carson Palmer do that deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Kurt Warner did. Kurt Warner got to 2 Super Bowls. He was not an incredibly great player, but he won a Super Bowl. He did something remarkable. He's that guy who went from bagging groceries to playing in the Super Bowl. That's remarkable. That's something you left behind. Carson Palmer doesn't have a moment like that. Colin Cowherd, my favorite radio host, argued that Carson Palmer was a Hall of Fame quarterback. I didn't hear the argument. I just saw his post on Instagram. I don't know what he said, but I know this. There's nothing remarkable about Carson Palmer. There's nothing incredibly memorable or outstanding, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. And if you haven't either won a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls or done something like Dan Marino left his mark, we're talking about Dan Marino for years and years to come. We're not going to talk about Carson Palmer in 20 years. We're not going to look back and go, oh, Carson Palmer. He's not incredible. Like the bar has risen. Statistically, the bar has risen in the NFL. I saw an article today. It was talking about how, what's an average quarterback today in today's NFL would have been a Hall of Fame outstanding quarterback. Like Derek Carr, average NFL quarterback. If Derek Carr played 20 years ago with the stats he has now, he's like the top of the league. The NFL has changed. So you can say maybe, I don't know what the argument again Colin Cowherd made was, but you can argue, Carson Palmer's stats are great all time. But he played in a different NFL than other guys did. He played in a different NFL than John Elway or Dan Marino. I think John Elway at one point had like a 50% completion percentage. John Elway was, in today's NFL, John Elway's not the same quarterback, but it was a different league. So again, my argument, the reason why Carson Palmer is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, didn't win a Super Bowl, and he didn't do anything else memorable or remarkable. He's a great quarterback. He's not left his mark on the league. When we look back on the NFL in 20 years, nobody's going to remember Carson Palmer, and nobody is going to talk about Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer is not a Hall of Fame quarterback.